Seems like we got a really, 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 really serious problem in this country right now. And we've always had a serious problem, but now it's just like out in the open and people are just completely ignoring this. And what's even more disgusting is the enemy of the people, which is the news media. A bunch of fucking liars. Like, yeah, these guys are just like they're just liars. There's no journalism, it's just script reading. And the way the way this is exposed is so blatant. Like just take a look at this. It's disappointing because bro, I'm struggling to make ends meet. And these motherfuckers are just stealing and no one is giving a shit. Now, obviously you have people that do give a shit, but the ones in power, it just seems like nothing is happening. I mean, you steal a candy bar, your ass gets thrown in jail, depending on what state you're at. But in this circumstances, it's like, yeah, these people are just like literally taking from all of us, and it's not right. And it needs to be addressed immediately, and the word should spread because this is fucking insane. Let's listen to Osmond real quick.
And
Yeah,
look,
listen to this shit.
Minnesota mom panics after seeing fraud bad in her script.
If
Sorry if I'm
childcare
blocking
is cut,
Osmond.
I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand. Fraud is bad.
Yeah, you're an idiot. I don't know if she's pretending. They take it to the limit. It's okay. Fraud is bad. Like, yeah, they sit there and cry about Trump all day doing bad shit. And then these people get caught red-handed actually doing bad, terrible shit, using kids, using God, and using our country for leverage in order to get what they want. And we're just like allowing it. And it doesn't make any sense. Look at his face. He's pissed. I'll be pissed too. I am pissed. All right. I saw this too. Let's check this out real
So
quick.
just take a look at this clip right over here.
So guys, this is absolutely mind-blowing. So I was watching the most recent video by Nick Shirley exposing these daycare centers. Now, they're going daycare to daycare, and the next one that they go to is called Sweet Angel Childcare. This is where they show up to. And this is the business right here. Sweet Angel Childcare in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, listen to where this phone number goes to when you call this child care center. Just wait for it.
For contacting the Office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. Our office is located at 130 State
That's
Capitol
strange.
at 75 Reverend.
Like, are people actually this stupid? I mean, there's no way that people are actually, well, the IQ for Somalians in Somalia is really low. It's par for the course. So even with the news story where they're saying that somebody broke into a concrete cinder blocked area and near the daycare center that they have, broke in and stole all the paperwork. Like, how stupid do you think we are? And then CNN goes on and starts berating Nick Shirley and defending this nonsense that's going on. So quick to cover bullshit. Well, I mean, we all know what the real cause of all of this is. It's complete fucking evil when it comes to the media, when it comes to these people coming to our country and taking full advantage of all of us. Taking advantage of me, taking advantage of my daughter, taking advantage of my mom, taking it like, you know how hard my mom works, you know how hard my family works in general, and you guys are just reaping all the benefits. I can't afford childcare. It's too expensive. To find a decent sitter where I'm at, well, my daughter's getting bigger now, so it's becoming increasingly easier. But it's, about $20 to $25 an hour for a decent sitter here where I'm located. And it's reasonable, right? Because it's like you want the best care for your child. I pay premium dollar. If I can't afford a premium dollar babysitter, then I am not hiring it. And it's yes, sometimes money has to do with a lot. When you pay someone a decent wage and you pay them enough so they can take care of you and themselves in a way where they're not just working just for a paycheck to help you out. No, they need to be helped as well. I don't want to hire someone for $15 an hour. You can't do anything with $15 an hour right now. So, unless you're a teenager living with mom and still life is hard, just because of shit like this. I'm not, everyone's always blaming capitalists and billionaires and shit. And although I disagree with billionaires, I don't think anyone needs to have that much money in the bank. And it's not many, right? And even with certain millionaires, I don't think anyone should have that much money in the bank. You don't need so many zeros in order to survive, first of all. And second of all, if you have that much money and you're contributing back actively, where it's just like a rotating surveyor belt, that's a different story. But if you're hoarding money, like there was a guy, he said he'd rather, a friend of ours, I think he passed away, it's a long time ago. He said he would rather have his $7 billion bank account burn before he gives it to anyone because they didn't earn it. Well, the reality of all of that, everyone on Earth struggles. Anyone who's working to just survive is definitely qualified to earn money. And with the $7 million, let's say, he passed away. I don't know what happened to the money, but that could have been distributed to help people get out of debt, in a lot of different ways to help. I don't know what happened to the money. I don't know. Sometimes the government takes it. They're like, oh no, it's no next of kin, so I guess it's ours now. It's just the way the game is played. But this is a very, very, very dirty game. It's not fair to any of us. We should all be pushing back on this. We should all be asking questions, not just allowing these people to do these. Billions and billions of dollars were funneled through this state. The scandal is clear. It's not complicated. You had people that are lying from another country being brought in here as refugees, bringing their culture to our country, which I don't have a problem with, but you have to appreciate the American culture first, and then, and the American culture is multiculturalism, but it's not where you bring your culture and you try to make the entire country that culture. No, we have to respect boundaries. First of all, you need to respect the American people and what's here. You come last. If you come into this country, I don't care if you're a refugee or running from war, whatever the case is, seeking asylum. You don't come first, you come last. Because if we don't take care of ourselves first, how the hell are we going to help you? Right now, we're in a really sticky situation where we're helping so many different people and we don't know where the money's going. There's no checks and balances. So I do understand why the media and the mainstream, why they don't like people like Nick Shirley, because he's actually doing journalism. He's not handed a script, just like all these hundreds and thousands of radio stations, TV networks, etc., are all given a script to follow. And the reason why you know that is because you hear the echoes. When you go to one channel, and even on the conservative, the left and the right, they do the same shit. They have these talking points, and it actually becomes frustrating to hear. And sometimes I even say one of those talking points only for a lack of better words. I don't do it to, I try not to echo or, live in that echo chamber. I'd rather just give my own opinion. But there's a lot of information out there, and sometimes you just have to
think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was
it's our money.
Ask about there aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building.
Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S.
That dude, Tim Walz, bro, like, it's like the government's just messing with us. They want us to get pissed off, and they just throw it in our face. That's
to
the
choose
point.
from. And Opus just came.
I want to get to where he goes inside.
The proof's right there.
Yeah, let's go inside.
What do you think's been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And
That makes no
finally, we were
sense.
accepted
Why?
into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that gentlemen matching your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare.
There's supposed to be a daycare, all this healthcare. There's no action. There's no work being done. To sum it up, these people are just full of shit. And you have multiple influencers that are going out there now, which I would call a journalist because look, CNN is calling him a MAGA influencer when what he's doing is he's not there to influence people to hate Somalians. He's there to expose the bullshit that's going on. And honestly, it's really not a lot of the Somalians' fault. I blame the media, I blame the government, I blame the ones that are in charge. If we continue blaming the people that are taking advantage of it, yes, they do need to be held accountable. Don't get me wrong, but we need to start actually going after the source to stop this madness. This is absolute madness. Right now, I'm taking a break from work because if I don't go out and work, I have no money coming in, and that's it. I don't take advantage of situations like this where this is like beyond taking advantage. This is just complete fucking treason to the United States of America because you're coming in here and you are fucking stealing from us boldly. These people have a set of fucking balls on them to come over here and do this shit. Our ancestors are rolling in their fucking graves. They're trying to come out and get revenge. Put on their fucking blue coats and go raise fucking hell. Because none of this makes sense. And what I mean by that is it's not making sense to why the people that are in power are defending this through media outlets. And we're allowing it to happen. But not anymore. I see a huge shift in the tone of the people. The temperature is getting really hot, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. And that's why I started this new channel because I do want to talk about it. Everyone should be on board. This is a fucking war, and we are more in a civilized state of the world. Not in all countries, but here in the United States. Civil war this time around would not be shed by blood, as it says in the Bible. And again, I don't believe everything that says in the Bible. I believe there's fruit that's edible, mentally, and then you have the bad fruit that's in the Bible that just doesn't make any sense, and maybe man is just manipulating it. And for someone to say that, oh, man can't change the Bible, yeah, well, yes, they can because there's thousands of different versions of the Bible, throughout time. People interpret it. And what I mean, not like the actual Bible, like people interpret the Bible in thousands of different ways. And because of that, they'll rewrite it to fit what's comfortable to them. And that's how religion works. Because you're not going to tell me that there's 30,000 different denominations of Christ, and each denomination is saying that you have to do it this way or you're going to perish. And then you have Jewish, and then you have, a lot, and then you have just all these crazy, not crazy, but all these religions out there that are saying they're right, they're right, they're right. Right now, we have a serious problem, man. Because the Bible does say we shall not wrestle with flesh and blood. I can't quote the Bible, but I love it. I love a lot of the practical wisdom that's in it. I don't think quoting the Bible, knowing your way to navigate, it's sort of like when you're driving home from work every day, but you're not paying attention to the street signs. And if someone actually asked you how to get there, you probably won't be able to tell them. Especially if you're new to the area, you just go into autopilot when you're going home or going to the store. Sometimes we don't pay attention to every single sign and we can't call it out, but we do know the way and the road to get there. That's my point about the Bible. You don't have to know how to quote it. Just know how to live by, I'm not going to say all the standards because everyone has their different standards, but we are in the last days according to what we're seeing as a reflection. And right now, this is how we fight. It's with the microphone. I've been fighting with the microphone since I was a kid. Just rapping, singing. all of my music and my lyrics and the books that I've written are all, it's all a fight. You know, we're all fighting for something. There's some songs that I've made that are just absolutely ridiculous and repulsive. And then you have a lot of the things that I've written, or it's fiction, so it's repulsive. Now that I'm older, I'm just like, wow, that's cringe. You know, a lot of the stuff that I used to do. But here we are. Decades later, I'm still on the microphone fighting, and we should be. We have to have these conversations. We have to, I'm not going to say expose people like what Nick Shirley does, because there is a price for that. And the price that he's facing is death threats and living uncomfortable. But as long as you're living with Christ, according to people who follow Christ, then you really have nothing to worry about. There's nothing to be afraid of. The worst thing that can happen is that you stay alive. The best thing that can happen is that you die with the message, because it's easier that way sometimes to be in the dirt for certain people, especially if you have a terminal illness or if you're just living a radical upbringing that's just unbearable. For some people, it's just best to, take a nap forever, however you want to put it. I do believe in an afterlife, whether it has to do with paradise, which I was taught my entire life, or just something else other than here. And right now, it's about time we start preparing. You already have Trump talking about World War III. You have, which is ironic because he was the person that's supposed to stop all these wars. And I'm not going to beat down on the dude, but it seems like there's a lot of wars happening right now. For someone who said that this war wouldn't have happened if he was in office, etc. China's completely surrounding Taiwan by a mass radius. We're talking like 100 to 150 miles of a radius in certain areas. Um, Getting ready to do God knows what. Russia and Ukraine is at it. Many wars that have taken place in Africa, just not major scale battles. I follow the Enforcer official on YouTube. They have a huge following, and they just lay out every conflict that's going on, and it seems like we have a serious issue. You have United States and Venezuela, Cambodia, and Thailand, I believe, or Taiwan, I forget which one. Please don't quote me, or quote me, whatever. And now you have the UK, or the Europe, that's slowly getting involved or being drug into the Ukrainian war. And then you have the huge, big spiritual battle that's just taking place on Earth right now. There is I mean, like, you just turn the news on and you see it. This is all spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare. Sorry, I like yawning as I was speaking. And that's where the biggest battle is right now, the battle for our minds. Because you can't shoot at ghost, right? You can't shoot evil, because evil is just like a disgusting. Let me subscribe to Nick. I forgot to. I have this new channel. You cannot shoot rockets at what's happening right now and obliterate it. You just can't. It doesn't matter if you blow a whole entire country up nuke style, however you want to put it. The spiritual warfare is still going on. You have men who think they're women who think they're men. Don't even care to get into that political argument because it's just fucking nonsense. Okay, a squirrel can't bark. Well, I'm sorry, cats don't bark, dogs don't meow. Lions don't like eating apples, like a bear would. Fish live in the water. Land animals on land, birds fly, not all, but my daughter's was born a female. That's a phone. That's light. That's a microphone. So when it's like we're almost too intelligent for our own good, because it's like here in the United States of America, in a Western society, we've become so bored with life that now we're just like we've gotten so bored, and we have too much information. It's confusing the hell out of people. People are like, read books and, it'll be the best thing. Yeah, for vocabulary. Like me, I should be reading a lot more because I'm very limited on my vocabulary, depending on what what mood I'm in and what day of the week. Um, or, just where I'm at in life. I get beat down, man, mentally. There's a lot of things that happen, and when you don't take care of your mental health, you limit your capacity to, make proper decisions, use better words, uh, control your emotions, etc. But I think what Nick Shirley's doing is extremely dangerous, but necessary. Somebody has to do it. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have found out. And there's a lot of people like him that are putting their feet to the ground and actually being journalists and not crying like CNN. Like CNN is such a fucking. Let's go to CNN quick, and then we're gonna call it a show because I got to get back to work. But CNN and like they're such pathetic. They're so pathetic. CNN is so pathetic. Look how pathetic these people are.
The Trump administration says it is now withholding all federal child care funding to the entire state. The agency says the state receives $185 million for 19,000 children, and now that money will be gone. And the agency did.
Excuse me? How much?
$5 million for 19,000 children, and now
No,
that
no, no,
money
no, no.
will.
Hold on. Sorry.
$185 million.
$185 million for 15,000 children or 12, whatever she said. That, where are these children? And I want to see how they're living.
For 19,000 children, and now that money will be gone. And the agency did not specify any alternate plans for families who will be affected. DHS and the FBI said they were surging resources to Minnesota to investigate what they called suspected fraud sites. This all comes in response to a viral video posted by a MAGA content creator.
A MAGA content creator? He's not a maggot. A maggot. He's not a MAGA content creator, first of all.
He claims that he uncovered widespread fraud by Somali-run child care centers in the state. CNN is looking into those claims and has not independently verified the accusations. But the Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services is taking the allegations at face value. Take a listen.
Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of tax.
You see what he said? A journalist. That's what he said. But CNN is like a MAGA content creator. It's so dishonest. Hold on. Because Siri, of course, always has to get into... Siri, I would never need your help mid...
I'm here to help. Get to know Siri at apple.com.
Photo evidence before we make a payment.
However, the so-called evidence comes from a man who has posted anti-Muslim and anti-immigrant content in the past. CNN's Whitney.
That's a lie. You see, like females like this that sit here and lie like that in front of a camera to get paid to read a script should get fucking rocked in her fucking face. And I'm not calling for any fucking violence, but this is treason, and you know the penalty for treason. You're sitting there willfully and purposefully fucking lying to the people. You're confusing people and making them hate this kid that's a virgin. Okay, according to him, he follows God. I don't know, but according to him, he's a virgin, and he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't party. He's just out there trying to expose this bullshit. And here comes this stupid bitch that's going to come on here and just fucking lie to everyone. What a dumb bitch, bro.
Wild speaks to the man behind that video and takes a look at his claims.
We're from CNN. Can we talk to you? This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley.
MAGA
Back at a
YouTuber.
daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video.
People are going to say this is a left or right issue, but no, fraud is fraud. And so I'm not out here trying to put a twist on things.
Shirley's viral video, released over the weekend, in which he says he's uncovering tens of millions of dollars in fraud at Minneapolis daycares run by the Somali community, was retweeted by Elon Musk and Vice President J.D. Vance. In the video, Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds.
Did you come during their normal operating hours when you came to visit?
And look, another fucking idiot, right? Look at her. She's like she's trying to inquire in something that she doesn't even know about. She's just assuming that he's wrong. No research, no journalism, no nothing. Just assume he's wrong, make him look bad, call him an anti-Semite, anti-Muslim, anti-whatever, just to like throw dirt on him. And what's really sad about that there's also black people that are talking about this situation as well, but you don't see them talking shit to the black people. They're just blaming Nick Shirley. And what's more interesting about all of this, why does the news media get so hyped up about situation? If you already concluded that what they're doing is right, why even make it a story? Why make it a story? For what? For what? You're making a bit like they're making this a huge deal. All the media outlets are just attacking this dude now, from what the media outlets that I've seen. You have some in support, and then you have podcasters, which are the real news journalists now. They're like, a lot of them have his back, but you can tell they're skeptical about it. I don't know Nick Shirley, but what he's doing here, if this is true, it's bad. And you know what? It's very suspicious. It's so suspicious, especially when the media comes on here and just starts pushing hard and starts insulting him and just calling him names, because that's what they do. They're a bunch of fucking children. A bunch of fucking children. And whoever this fucking ding dong is over here, like, just listen to what she had. Like, she's like so convinced. Well, that's what she gets paid for, to act. These are actors.
A.m., I believe, and I also came the following day, later in the day. The point of it is not whether or not I came at the right time of their operation hours. The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers. I wasn't trying to go inside, and there should be a way for somebody to actually be able to call that number and somebody to be able to answer. These aren't real businesses.
But surely you don't think a daycare should just be unlocked.
Like, she doesn't even like address the situation. Like, okay, well, let's call it right now. It's like she's just assuming. Wow, these people are really
Shouldn't be
dumb.
able to just walk into a
There
daycare.
should be a reception.
No, every daycare is locked.
Their doors are locked.
And so
Every daycare is
fair
locked.
point.
That is
Then
true.
Why
That is
can't
true.
they actually give me information how to enroll a child?
Federal law enforcement has been investigating fraud in Minnesota for several years. Both Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel said on social media they've indicted dozens of defendants.
Two other
DHS
frauds.
has posted multiple videos of agents they say are conducting a massive fraud investigation.
Do you think that federal law enforcement hasn't done enough? I mean, they would say, look, these fraud cases have been going on, but they've already done like 80 indictments. The cases have been going on, for years.
And why did I show up one day in Minnesota and go to all these daycares, no children? They're receiving millions of dollars. We uncovered nearly $110 million in fraud in one day.
How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming.
That's right.
So we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims.
She is an idiot.
My
Look
name's
at her.
Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Is CNN this stupid? Yeah, you have to be really stupid to watch CNN. I mean that with the most respect and love to all my people, all my friends. But if you watch CNN and believe that shit, you have to be grossly retarded. So you called the business, you called several businesses, one picked up, and they said they're legit. So that case closed. These are not just outstanding Americans that he's accusing. These are people that are coming into our country and sucking us fucking dry for our money. But you know why these CNN panelists don't care? Because they get paid either way. It doesn't matter. Read this script. You want to be big. You want to be big time here. You know, touch me here just a little bit. No, no, no. Oh, no, that's sexual harassment now. So like, yeah, well, I'll take you to dinner. And like, yo, they coerce all these people one way or another. You know, this entertainment game is sexually motivated and money motivated for sure. Two of the biggest motivations, right? You have people that shouldn't be in their positions, like Kamala Harris, because she's not qualified to be anything from what my understanding is. She just poof came out of nowhere, had an affair, destroyed a marriage, and here she came. I don't give a fuck how you feel about that because that's true. When you know people by how they speak, their body language. You know, Kamala Harris was the dumbest fucking person I've ever seen on a fucking television. And you could say Biden was, but no, Biden was actually intelligent. He's actually smart. He just, you know, he's old now and he's outplayed. But Kamala Harris, come on, dude. And we all know the truth behind that. But, you know, now you have these bimbos on CNN. It's embarrassing. They should all be embarrassed. And they probably are. You know, they probably hate going home at night and like, yo, what am I doing to my country? But it's for the money, it's for the family. No. No. Where's your integrity
Have you seen
to this
the
country?
videos, purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids inside?
Minnesota Republicans say despite the new focus from the Trump administration, they have been sounding the alarm on fraud for years.
You know, we have talked about fraud. We have gotten stories. We've tried to push this forward.
There's something really dumb that this lady says, though.
Amongst some of the conservative community is because
Like she gets
quite frankly, while there's
extra
a lot
retarded.
Of attention on the Somalian community, there's a white woman by the name of Amy Locke who was convicted, I think, on several different
White
charges.
woman, look.
Leader of this, and many of these
It's always race. It's always race. Look at their faces. You have the token black dude that they need on there because they just want to be diverse, and you know he automatically going into race. This is not a race issue. This is a fuck you, give us our money back issue. God knows what he's thinking. She's retarded, and from him nodding his head, agreeing with him, he's already retarded. So I'll become retarded watching this. So we're gonna be done here with that at least. And I'm getting back to work. Got some stuff I gotta do. Yo, seriously though, we cannot allow this. Somebody has to push back, and we are. This battle that we're having, this grand war that's taking place right now, you know, the information war. That's why they're building data centers, because they're going to get ready to pump bullshit into all of our faces. So, but again, it's just very weird that the news gets extra excited when things don't matter. So it's just like, well, they've been under investigation. They've had 80 indictments. Why are you here bothering them? What is a million things anyone can be doing? You know, you could be out there being a real journalist, but you're just sitting here protecting the Somalians, and fuck them, okay? I don't give a fuck about them. And I'm talking about the ones that are here doing all the bad shit. If you are doing bad shit in our country, get the fuck out. Go. I'm not letting you into my house if you're a bad person. Why the fuck would I allow you in our country?